And we got it.
No.
Oh, no worries. Okay. Okay, well, I mean, we can talk and then we'll just keep it running till,
I guess it's sure.
okay. All we need is four and that's it, so. My friend, just give you a heads up on your, well, first I'm gonna ask you, did you get the email, on Thursday? I sent an agenda and a meeting minutes.
I didn't, but
Okay.
now that you're mentioning this, I didn't set up the committee
Okay.
email yet. So
Okay.
since that, I didn't get that.
All right, sounds good. So as long as, I know we all sat together, like you were in the meet, you were in the audience, so welcome. You did hear what time we had the meeting, and did it help that we had bulletin board with the sign too? Do you
On
think-
the dog park?
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I heard discussions about it.
okay,
So at least like people are aware that this is happening. Yes.
so, okay,
Yeah,
so basically, I will try and send out an agenda and meeting minutes on Thursday or Friday. For our meeting on either Tuesday or whatever we decide to vote on. But on that paper in the back, you would see like a code of contact, we're gonna have to postpone that. Because on the very back, it was the wrong date. So I wanna make sure everything else is still correct before we even do the sign. So in our agenda, we did have code of conduct, but it was just brought to my attention before we, that it was the wrong date.
Oh, wait, this very bottom
The
line.
very bottom. Now, what I'm worried about is anything else that's not right, so basically, for us being a committee, we have to sign that paper, I want to make sure everything is correct before I have anybody sign. So what we'll do is I'll just, the next meeting, I'll have the correct, or I'll just email you guys the correct form. All I need is a copy of it.
Okay.
So next time we meet up, we can.
And I'll make sure I have that email set up.
Yes, well, I was told that Don was gonna come here and show us how to do it. Again, this was
I
told to
logged
me.
in, but I don't have
Okay,
Microsoft.
It was told-
stuff on my Apple phone.
so.
You can just do it with your regular email. You don't need any Microsoft stuff. I can show you how to do it if you have your password.
My, yeah, probably do.
Oh, we don't give out any password, but now
I don't need to give it a password. Do not as a security.
Sure, I know you, I know, we talk about this all the time, about you.
I'm no
You're the
security.
tech girl, I know. I know.
Should I? So I have my password if you want to set it up on me.
Okay, let's do it now. Just me.
Yeah, that's fine.
I have my eyes.
I'm gonna have to put my password out. on-
Wait, then I'll bring you up, Okay, sure.
Yes. It's fine.
We moved everything out.
I really don't.
Yeah.
Here's your lady. But. Oh,
Okay. And accounts,
I will be here.
That accounts.
Two.
which one is it? I would.
Well, it's still out on the intersection on the. I think I should do it.
I shot you.
I support it.
It is my address.
I don't think we had.
First of all, that's-
First up.
No, I love it. Oh, we got a quorum. Where's Wesley?
He's violent.
You sit wherever, can you sit wherever you like, Rick?
I know, he went to the park with violent folks. I had a meeting until 5:30. Yeah, I texted you, being like, I'm outside, but.
Nice. How it goes.
Y'all, and it was just like them going through
It should.
creative requests, but like server, because now she's right.
Yeah.
Agencies?
Yeah.
No one has specific
Jobs.
dimensions.
But I was like, you could write this document and I could figure.
Yeah. Didn't have to be me away.
Didn't have to be. Yes.
I'm not gonna be.
It was just.
I'm moving to.
I've never met my chief.
Okay, is there someone who sort of didn't want?
It's just the commute. It's.
Yeah.
So it's like 1:30.
But you didn't.
And I don't have to deal with AOP and long-term.
Your thing is very
Thing.
Yes.
If we can't.
So it'll be different, it'll be interesting. I'm working with managers that are working. who's actually the one who reached out to me and said, hey, so it's gonna be,
Because I don't.
just look at me, but that's okay.
Maybe.
So that's what we should talk about.
Yeah.
Looks changed, but
Well, now that I announced it to everyone.
No, please continue. No, right now, we didn't really have a quorum, so you're Jared and Joe doing some right now, so
Okay.
you're good. You continue.
So once I told everyone,
So we can start once, either, we're done with that, but I'll give you
it's
one.
like the whole, everyone except one.
This doesn't work.
No, you're good. That's all.
Was talking to Dan.
The vertical list is going out the door.
If that's okay, I guess like two.
Where you are.
They're still on the you're super. I'm sure you'll be on password.
We had 5 rounds.
So that's why. Same.
It's ridiculous.
I started working until like 2 a.m.
I'm so scared, smell that stuff.
Great. Yeah, with that, you just be like, that's, it just onto your own boss.
Yeah, so that actually do. There's a lot of times.
It's fair. I guess we can. You don't really manage.
Yeah. But yeah, it's so funny too, because I feel like. I think because I took that talk between too. And then I stayed home much longer. Already for so long, like, so yes, these still weird since had every once in a while where like. It's not gonna play.
It's just work.
It's like having an abuse manager. People like, where like I was like, people this way, and I didn't actually feel much so much. It wasn't fine. It's just being ignorant. It was wrong.
Okay.
All right, so, folks.
Yeah. So yes, Danny, the email did show up in my.
Yeah.
Contact.
Okay, so folks, just to give you guys a heads up, I would like for the rest of the group to be present before we vote on a chair.
Seems fair.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have Paul, who was the chair at the last meeting, I'm gonna have him just be the chair today. And then when we can get everyone in, I think a lot of people are having issues with their email, their town hall email. I don't know, I know Sue was be here digitally or on Teams. But I don't know the other two, so I just wanna make sure we have full house before we do any kind of vote.
Are they new?
Yeah, yes. Sue is one of the ones we had last year with Gene and Ronnie. No, I never.
So Gene and Ronnie.
Yeah, so those are the other two that I would like to have. So before we vote for chair, I think next time we come in, we'll do the voting. So if you guys are okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, so Paul, do you want to run the meeting this year?
Ready? Yes, sir. It's 5:38, but we're gonna start the meeting with a call to order. There are no members. So we can. And I'm going to verify once we have a quorum. And I'm going to ask for a motion to adopt the agenda.
Motion.
Second.
I'm going to make a motion. I need a motion to approve the minutes of last month's meeting, the April 15th meeting.
I will motion. As well, because that's here.
All right. And then the next thing is the dog park chair voting. I'm going to ask to table that until we have 4 people. And that's about 3/4 of the thing. Ready to go home? All right. June 21st, dog park anniversary. Joe.
Okay, so we started planning this obviously last. And I've done a whole bunch of work. I sent a summary email to both Danny and Paul at the time, because we didn't have the second committee yet. Basically, the date is gonna be Saturday, June 21st from 9 a.m. till noon at the dog park. I have,
It's settled.
yes, I have put save the dates into the dog park magazine article that I wrote. And I put something else.
Did we get a PDF of that article?
You can always download it. Cause the magazine is always downloaded.
I would look it up. I was just thinking, because it could be good to screenshot and send around, let people via text, maybe on.
Oh, yeah, well, the whole article is about like the dog park reopening and
Okay.
your stuff, and it's not just. Actually, I think this one is Sue's article. Anyway. Regardless, I talked to Scoop Celebration, which is our new ice cream shop down in Island Village.
Oh, okay.
They would very much like to participate. We are going to have, I talked to them about if we buy, say, 50 ice cream cups for people, she will provide complimentary dog ice cream cups, so 50 dog ice cream cups. And you can, I'll send a picture out later, but they're super cute, the dog cups. It's a little tiny scoop of vanilla ice cream with a thing of peanut butter around it and then a little tiny notebook.
Oh, that's
It's
cute.
adorable.
Wesley will knock the milk onto the floor and lick the ice cream and peanut butter and then begrudgingly return to the milk bone.
My dog doesn't eat milk, so. She would be like, I can't eat this for other dogs. So they will sell us 50 people ice creams, which are just single serve vanillas, for $4 a cup. Anything after that, if we have more than 50 people show up and more than 50 people want ice cream, then they can purchase it. The committee will pay for the first 50 now. And we also, went in to talk to Wolfgang, Cindy and Kim were not there when I went in, so I'll pop by again on like stairs. I'll pop by tomorrow and see if I can talk to one of them. They usually donate a thing, or maybe they can donate some treat bags or something, so I'll talk to them. Have not yet talked to Melania. Paw Academy also very much wants to participate. I talked to them. They have this new bus. It's like an old schoolie, like a little mini school bus that they have literally ripped the insides out and made it dog safe. So they're like dog harnesses and all that.
I've seen those.
Cause he wants to do doggy like field trips or whatever. So he was supposed to talk to Danny about how they could participate since we don't want to take up all the parking spaces. And that, so I haven't heard the update on that. I think it would be fine to have them come.
Mhm.
We don't really want to have them be on the other side of the road in the grassy area, because then we have to be concerned with soccer and stuff, like cars driving back and forth and dog safety. So that might be something we have to talk about. Or maybe they park up by the library closer to. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, what we discussed at my meeting when we were crossing,
Right.
they said that they may just, we'll give them a tent.
Uh-huh.
And they'll have their vehicle just behind them, say, hey, this is our vehicle.
Okay.
No one really goes in and looks at it, just because I guess the vehicle will have, I didn't see the full picture, but it's gonna be advertised, Paw Academy. And then you can get their information from their tent, but they'll have the vehicle behind them.
Okay, that
So,
works.
and then again, we'll meet up, Paw Academy and I will meet up and see, maybe there's a spot for them. Because I know that we were discussing having food trucks. If we don't do food truck, we'll have more parking spaces for.
So that leads into my next point
So there you go.
about, I don't think we need food trucks. I'm also gonna talk to, the brewery and see if they'll provide little samples of the pretzel. It's breakfast time, right? It's 9 to noon.
Yeah.
So we don't need a ton of food. We just wanted some refreshments and stuff, but if they do like little mini pretzel bites or something, that we think.
I wonder if Jeffs would be interested too.
Possible. I mean, I just haven't started talking to everybody, and we only have room for a few vendors.
Yeah.
So, so I don't think we need the food truck is what I'm saying. We have ice cream and we'll have some other snacky thing there. We're gonna use a 10x20 tent. We'll put the dog park committee table on one end, and then I'm gonna set up a backdrop. I have a fun backdrop, and I'll take photos, and people can just download their photos. That way there's some, cute photos from the event, plus I'll have something to use like a magazine article when I read it. We also are
People
gonna,
sign waivers,
Huh?
if you're gonna use a magazine. No, okay.
there are public space.
I work for Disney, the rules are very,
Yeah. This is totally different.
so I'm always gonna ask about stuff like that because
No, that's good.
So, Jill, just to clarify that, we will put I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, the
So
sign.
we do have an A-frame that will say that your photo needs to be taken.
Great.
So we'll have that. So we do this all in advance. So thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah, absolutely. So Danny has ordered, so we have magnets, tote bags and bandanas of two sizes. The
That's all for
magnets,
sale.
yes, they have all been for sale. We will have those for sale at the dog park committee table as well. We're gonna give away like the first 100, whatever magnets we have left that are little tiny ones. We'll give this to the first however many people want it. Danny has ordered us the bigger magnets, which is what I really wanted. When I ordered them before, so that we could sell those in the future. So we're gonna give away the smaller ones and sell the bigger ones when we get them. They're a little bit more expensive. So we're gonna, when we have the full committee here, once Danny gets me the pricing again, we'll look at the prices and I can readjust as necessary. We can readjust as necessary.
The total of the magnets, all 100, was $456.88. That was 100. That's
So
five
it
by
would be
five.
like 456 or
I think like the smallest order quantity,
We did 100, right?
we ordered the 100 this time.
this is already ordered all.
It was like 2 weeks, yeah, we got 2 weeks, so they were
I
like,
would say
it takes about 2 weeks to get, yeah.
I would price them at 8.
Yeah, so we'll, once they're in and we have all of the info, we'll reprice and look at like how many bandanas we have left, if we need to reorder, and if we want to do any other kind of items too.
It might be worth looking at a cooling tower too, especially as we're looking, like if we're looking at different organizations and something.
When we have a full committee, we'll have an agenda item today and talk about additional fun things that we can sell for sure. Cause I love the idea of a cooling tower. I don't, probably does not get it. The other thing was, Melania will probably participate as well, and we'll put her in the tent. We will also have the dog park rules, in case anybody needs a refresher. Well, everybody there should already be signed up, you can't really sign up at the event, so if you're signed up, you can come visit outside, but you can't bring your phone inside. And then we'll also sell pavers and bricks like we do every time we have a meeting. I don't think I missed anything else. Did I cover everything?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Any comments on that?
I think it sounds great.
I'll be out of town, so don't be mad.
Yeah,
Don't send your dog.
sign a proxy with your dog.
Okay, the next item. Now, normally at this point, I would recommend,
Do we need to vote on approving Scoop to buy the,
Yeah, no, that's what we got,
Okay.
so we can do it for us four, we can do that.
so since we have a quorum, I'm gonna make a motion that we contract with, we have a bunch of money as the, that we've earned. I'm gonna make a motion that we contract with Scoop Celebration to purchase 550 people ice creams at $4 each. We'll take the $200 out of our dog park funds already. And then she will then provide. I've given her a provisional, like, save the date, but once we confirm it, then I will.
second.
All in favor?
Just a question, right? These are giveaways, right? They're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are.
So the first 50 we will give away. If there are more than 50 people who are like, do you want ice cream? She hits some.
Oh, so Scoots will be there with more.
Yeah.
But, okay, got it.
I'll send you guys the picture. She has this adorable little like freezer carpet thing.
Yeah, that's nice. I thought she's maybe like giving us the supplies.
No, she
Oh,
was gonna be there that morning. We're gonna put her under a tent. She'll hand out the people ice cream and
So the
and then-
first 50,
the first 50 we have contributed and we have purchased your ice cream. Anybody more than that?
and then if we don't have 50, we're still on the $50, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, she got us a deal and she's giving us the doggy ice creams. We're not paying for those.
Right.
So I think 50 is a good number.
I think it's a good incentive for people to get there too.
Right. Yeah, she's very excited to participate, so. Anyway, give me motion, did everybody,
I think we have a second, and then was it all in
You
your?
got a second, who voted?
Oh, yeah.
All in favor?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Jill motion, who's the second?
A second.
Okay, that's all I need. Okay.
Favor, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Done.
Okay. This part is a dog park update. This is where normally we welcome everybody, introduce everybody, but I know everybody. So we'll have to hold that till next time. I would like to thank Jared for, again, representing the dog park to the board. He is and chosen as far as I'm concerned. For the same way.
yeah, I would rather have Jared here.
Did anyone tell John that he was on this committee? Because is that Jen or John?
When, that name I was given to his application, so I'm gonna
Okay.
email everybody to make sure
He didn't
because,
get an email, so I can text him.
okay.
So the original, you're on the committee email went to all of our personal emails.
Yeah.
Cause I did remember getting that.
The rest is, I'm gonna open this to everybody, but I'm just gonna start as a city. Yeah.
That's me.
Okay.
So, yes, everybody that's on this table was supposed to have received,
Okay.
hey, welcome to the committee. But now I'm finding out there's some issues with our town, we're all gonna have a town hall email. The last committee had a choice, town hall or personal. My committee, recent, one personal. So we're all on one big group email and I click it and we're all in there. So now I'm being told that it has to be, we gotta be on the town hall. So that's what's happening. So, yeah, but everyone here has been on that table, yes. That's who's down. And I went by the name that's on the application. So if it's named a different name, I just need to know.
Yeah,
No,
another problem is
it says JEAN.
Yeah, is that not?
That's John. That's
That's what sure.
yeah,
He's
it's
French.
French. It's a French spelling, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm asking for his personal email, just in case, just so we can double check it.
Did you get the email?
I got it.
I'm looking at that. email. I don't see it, that name in any email, but I don't know. When you get that, let me know.
Okay,
It might be a mistype too.
I think it could be this.
gonna get to the dog update.
Oh, yeah.
By that, we're talking about the condition of the park. Okay, obviously, there's no saying yet. I'm going to ask Jared if he will at least tell us what we can expect.
So if there's a motion to put sand in the big dog park sandbox, we will get that. I can start,
Okay,
the order can happen tomorrow.
I'll make a motion that we ask the board to put sand in the sandbox in the big dog
Can I
park.
just ask a couple questions before we?
Yeah, we need to make a motion in second and then discussion.
Oh,
So I'll second it, but we want to specify placing.
So it'll be placed. Now discussion.
was that part of the original agreement? To put sand?
It was not on the document. It was
Not
in the
official.
proposal. There was confusion between the assumption that the sand that is there, which is half sand, half dirt,
Mhm.
was what it was going to be. And then there were also the belief that we were getting new sand specifically for it. That's where the confusion.
When did we stand in the dog park? In the large dog park in Riverview? Was that,
It was on
April
like,
14th.
Early April.
Yeah.
okay, so according to my calendar, it's April 14th. We stood in the big, yes. We stood in the big dog park. Danny, Jared, Paul, and myself, as well as Brian. And we said, hey, there's no sand, there needs to be sand in the sand pit. That was at the same point that we were laying out the layout.
I don't know if that's what was said or if it was said, this is the sandbox, this is the sand pit. I don't know. I don't recall anyone saying we need sand here because I think that would have raised the question, should we?
I remember saying there needs to be sand in.
Okay.
I mean, I remember myself saying,
I think I was asked point blank, do you want me to
At
dirt
the
or
most-
sand?
at the most recent meeting, before the big dog park reopened, before, like, at the most recent time that we checked everything out, and we were talking about the rocks and the fact that there needs to be more rocks around. We talked about perhaps we need to put a little white paint on the end of the things to visually alert people that, hey, there's a block here. At that very moment, that's when we said, there's no sand in here, and Brian said, I can get sand put in there.
That is still the case.
Okay,
Brian can get sand,
and he said it would happen prior to it being open.
which it did, because I got a call that day.
That was the
You
same
went down
thing
there.
about the grass,
Yeah.
the brown spots on the grass as well. It's all part and parcel of that. That conversation is had at the same time.
That's the other thing that I'm gonna bring up here is that there are quite big areas where obviously the water's not getting to, and the grass is dead. Now, 2 weeks ago, Brian told us that if it didn't come back last week, it would be replaced. Well, this is this week. Still not being addressed. Also, he had told us he was gonna take the rocks and finish off to the left where the seating area, the main seating area is, to make that
Yes.
all look realized. That hasn't been done.
The small rocks, because we had specifically talked
You
about,
even said specifically, make sure it's the right rock.
Yeah.
So that didn't happen either, so.
so do we need to vote on the sand first before we continue down this path about the grass and the
Or
rocks?
do you want us to join everything in one?
We will not do them separately.
I'll make a motion that we ask, who did,
We have a motion in a second.
We have the
Call the
motion.
question.
I second.
we did call a
Yes.
question.
So if we go forward, so we still ask questions, yeah, right?
Yes.
So with the sand, if we go forward with the sand, I just have two questions. So first, I know it was discussed, and I think there was maybe a misunderstanding or an understanding that there was gonna be sand, or it was not. Is there going to be additional cost to do that, or is it just included with the fact that it's part of?
No, it wasn't part of the original.
Okay, so we have to
So
ask for that
additional-
additional cost. We know what that is.
It's minimal. I would guess less than $200.
Anthony works in finance.
Yeah.
He's gonna ask a lot of financial questions.
So second question is, have we talked about like maintenance for the sand pit? If sand needs to get replaced on a regular basis or ready to clean, like, has that been discussed?
That's the concept.
We can ask Brian about that when he comes to the next meeting. There could be discussion about that.
Yeah, I
There's
mean-
been no discussion about maintenance.
Okay,
So
like
we
the
have-
cursory examination says like we probably only do it like once a year. I haven't looked at it really hard, but
So we've talked about maintenance of the new grass, and if we keep up on it, and we continually replace the dead stuff with new, like a pallet, and
Mhm.
that it won't be the big hit that we took this year, where we had to replace everything and redo.
Right.
So I would suggest that we put that into the same maintenance plan as the grass and the rocks,
Yeah.
and say, you know, periodically, you throw a bag of sand.
But I think it's-
Periodically, you throw a bag of rock.
yeah, and specifically, I think it's replacing, not just
Yes.
replacing the old ones. It's dogs are dogs.
Can we also talk about closing off that pit? So it's not just like the sand's gonna spill out.
So
See,
that, the door was by design,
Okay.
and that Paul can speak to why the door was put in. Do you remember when we talked about the sand tank? Yeah, why we left the end open, do you remember why?
Yeah, so that nobody would trip it. That
So
was
it's
the-
kind of like a zero entry sand tank.
But if-
And the way that was designed, you have to understand, he was bringing the rocks right up to it and finish it off very,
Okay.
very nicely.
So maybe like the rocks would be that bigger.
Yeah, so my concern is that if you don't close that and we add sand on top of the dirt, it's going to slide right out.
So the question is, did we really think we wanted sand? That's why I think. Like, I would think too, sand that we always close off, sand, because sand goes.
But I think like talking with all the residents that use it, I think there is an expectation that they want that to be a sand pit.
Yeah.
So I,
Sand is
Like-
really clean up the dirt.
yeah, so I'm personally in favor of moving forward with that, but if we have to make an adjustment to the sand pit structure. I'd be happy to talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah, so again, when we stood in the dog park. And we talked about where the layout is, and we made the size of actually bigger, I had to kick it out a little bit. We talked about that entry, and he said the rock will come right up, and that will actually act as the barrier to keep the sand in. But that's not what.
You did.
I mean, I remember standing there having that
No, I
conversation.
believe you, I believe you, it's,
I'm not sure we should base anything on the contingency that Brent's gonna do his job. To be quite frank, because it seems like things get 3/4 of the way done. And the other thing in that pit too is the hose for the.
That 1,000% was supposed to be removed before.
Yeah.
And that's a huge problem because we bury it every day and the dogs dig it up.
Yeah.
2
That
hours
is-
later.
there's an irrigation hose in there that was very specifically talked about in multiple actual meetings, not just us hanging out.
And he said that he was going to bury that, which he never did. We,
Or he was gonna move the irrigation line.
Yeah,
because
our
it's
own
on the stretch.
so owners buried it. And
Yeah,
then keep
he
coming
buried
up,
it.
obviously, yeah.
4 inches down.
so,
Either way, I don't think it would be, take away from the looks of the whether we put something that costs or not. If you guys think it's worth it,
Well, that's,
hell, make a motion,
Yeah,
so,
to put a rock boards, whatever you wanna call it, of course it. No problem, because you're not talking about a lot of money.
Maybe choose something.
check, yeah, the hose. So he buried it again this Monday. He said that if it comes up again, he's gonna have to discard it. So just let me know if you see it
It's
again.
come up twice, we buried it.
Let me know this week. If it happens again, he's gonna remove it, and then he's gonna have to move the irrigation. So that's what he told me. So
He told us he was gonna do before he put it in.
So he told me this week before, I mean, if that happens,
I don't have much confidence in Brian anymore.
Can we just move forward with it anyway? And just say, please move it.
we should, because that was the condition. That was the
Yeah.
condition of,
Like, I understand that he wants to avoid that if possible, but it was been requested, we were told,
okay?
we're already having issues.
so before we vote on that, we need to finish the vote about the sand.
So,
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
It's all part, yeah.
So
I'm
Sam,
still waiting on the
so
motion.
first, I think it was, I think that Katie raised the point of blocking in with that last piece of wood. If we're gonna put play sand in there, and I think it's great. If we go with play sand, we need the piece of wood. Do we vote on both of those at the same time since they're not related? Or
They can be for amend your motion.
I think we would amend the motion, so,
Had a second discussion.
yeah,
we
so
can
you have the
amend the motion.
discussion, so now we can amend
So
it.
you're asking me to amend it?
yes,
I
if we can amend it so that we can vote on enclosing the
Correct.
sand pit entirely with wood and filling it with play sand.
Okay, so there's a motion to amend the motion to close it, the area completely, and to make sure that the sand purchase is set as place sand. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do I have a second?
I will second that. Yeah, that's fine, I'll second that.
Any discussion on it?
Is there anyone not wanting, I know you mentioned that you had thought to keep it open, but
I mean, I like
Have any-
the idea of a rock wall, but like, I
Yeah,
don't trust that that's.
under Robert's, we have to go step by step, so the next thing is discussion. Got more discussion on that, you gotta bring it up now,
I personally don't have.
okay?
I just wanted to know.
So we need a vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? 0. Okay.
Hang on. Okay, so that was the first motion. Second motion that I'm gonna make is that we request Brian to remove completely, as we originally discussed, the pipe, the irrigation line that goes through the middle of the sand. That just needs to be moved completely. We don't need to water the sand pit, we just need to modify, which we discussed when we stood out there and built the sand pit. So my motion again is that we request that he reroute the irrigation to move that.
I second. Discussion?
Anybody want to talk about?
All in favor?
I got it. Okay. I noticed that we have a new hole. Yesterday I found a hole in the grass. And since the dog park opened late and I got there early, can only be one dog, was two dogs that were there. And, I just think the person just didn't fill the holes in. So we have to keep an eye on that. Now, what I did immediately, as agreed, I called Andy. We filled it up with sand, dirt, whatever we had from one of these dirt layers. But if we see dogs doing that outside of the sand pit, let's stop them. And, because I'm gonna talk to the people, I think, because they're very friendly, they just may have not even noticed it. Although this person is always on the phone when she's there, so she doesn't look at the two dogs. That's justice throwing out there.
I think so.
Anything else that has been noticed
The grass,
while we have that?
Consensus.
Want to bring it up now?
I do have something to bring in about the grass, and I think it mostly looks great. I've seen the patches that you were talking about. Something I just wanted to ask if it was a possibility when it comes to landscaping, when they do their mowing on Monday. We had some residents yesterday that were going in and taking the rakes or doing it by hand, picking up all that mulch that was left behind and kind of putting it in a wheelbarrow and putting it in the trash can. And they filled up the whole wheelbarrow of just the grass clippings. So I was curious, is there any possibility of, instead of leaving the grass clippings after they mow, are they able to bag it or?
Yeah, I would believe the answer to that would be follow-up supervision, which we don't have. There's no follow-up supervision.
so
So
If-
Oh, super.
if the grass is supposed to be picked up at all, it's.
landscaper, right? So I asked Brian, will this hurt the grass? Now, here's the thing, with this committee, I said this before, you guys are the new ones. I want everything on camera, and if there's something we need to discuss, it has to be voted on. Because like we've had this issue with the sand pit, somehow it got snipped. It was like, no one knows what's getting what. So if this is something that, if this caused a problem with you guys, that this grass is, like, I don't like the way it looks, but let's say my dog's chewing on it or
I
someone.
think the dogs were eating it.
Yeah. So I honestly, I would like to do a vote. I want to vote everything. You want something removed, we vote. Because that's the committee. The committee would have to vote and that's it. And then it's vote, Jared's here. We want to recommend snippets. We want that grass out. I just want everything in writing. I want it on camera and I want it as a vote. The committee wants this removed.
So I have-
It doesn't have to be a vote.
So we make the motion that the board talk to the landscaping about, or direct the landscaping to do it. We don't get to like make any actual.
Right.
Like, we can't say, you're right, we'll do that thing. But we can say, here's a motion that we would like the board to direct landscaping to do this.
And then at the next meeting, we'll hear a follow-up what the response was.
Yes,
If you don't see it, you bring it up again.
so yes, make a motion.
Okay. So I would like to make the motion that we request for landscaping to bag the grass clippings mulch after they have mowed the grass. And dog parks.
Second. Any discussion on it?
I do, I mean, unless we want to add the detail that it's unhealthy for dogs, they'll eat the clippings.
The residents are doing it by hand as we speak. So I don't want them to do that.
Take a vote.
Any other
All those in favor?
discussion?
Aye. Well, I think one of the things he's gonna tell you is, can we tell him to cut the grass too high? We don't, and we cut the grass to where it's supposed to be, because
They
if
can
not, you can
also-
see all the bald spots in
I
there.
mean, they can just blow it into the
Yeah.
bushes behind part too, but
Okay.
it doesn't mean that.
So they cut it, so 3.5 inches, I think is what we told.
Yeah, and that's.
So they are cutting it to the depth that we specify. Have we talked yet about replacing the dead spots in both the small dog and the big dog?
It was brought up and he discussion on that?
I don't think you need a motion or discussion on that. If there's dead grass, it's it's under warranty.
Right,
So it just needs to be addressed by Christian.
okay.
And also too, I talked to Brian before the meeting about the grass, because I did walk in this morning just to I wanted to make sure that the grass was even greener. I know that the small dog park, there was a lot of brown spots. I was happy, which I got worried, because like, oh, here we go. It's getting better. So I didn't see much, I did see the clippings, so that was, I brought it up this morning, or was even before we had the meeting. The large dog park, yes, it still has that, there's a few spots that are still there, so I asked Brian, okay, so I know we talked about if I see a spot, I'll ask you, can we replace it? He says he would do that. The issue is, so right now, if he gets sod, it's going to be brown, because we're in a drought. Just give you guys a heads up, that's what he told me before the meeting.
Okay, but that's a difference.
Well, yeah, I know, but that's what he told me. So, what did I just say? So, we vote, right? We don't have to vote, Jerry, so you don't have to.
No.
So we said, we voted on this before, so I will let Brian know, the committee wants the grass, the brown grass change. So that's what we're gonna do.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I don't even know if you can cut my legs right after I'm gonna make a motion that we ask the board of directors to tell Brian, do not procrastinate. You have 10 days to do this, or at least tell us why you're not, because I'm tired of it. Got a motion? Second? No?
I don't think we need a second. I mean, I don't think we need a motion. We just need, they just.
Well,
need to,
if we
like-
need a motion on the board, so.
Well, we could do that, like, and we should be doing that as a maintenance of our properties that are out of warranty or that are not. So we can do that.
He hasn't been paid the dog park yet, Paul, has he?
Probably,
So I think.
but I mean, that's not an issue because we have a $3 million contract.
Right.
We have other things with it. The issue is, you want this dealt with in 10 days. It will be 10 days until I came and discussed with the board. So
That's the problem.
I have to figure this out with Danny separately from the board.
How about 7 days from the time that you notify him to the board?
I will make this a priority for me, and Danny and I will talk about this with Brian and
I satisfied. I just know the history.
It was told in meetings in front of the camera.
Well, Karen,
That that he said that if there was problems, he would replace the grass, no extra charge on that.
But he never said when.
Well, then that could be us, but again, we can fix that. The thing
but
is,
do know that what Danny's saying is he's going to replace the dead grass with what looks like dead grass. So I don't need
No, I
Rob
understand
on
that.
the back porch telling everyone that we put dead grass in on top of dead grass, because that is a dead grass. Okay, so we're putting dormant grass on top of dead grass.
If he does that, I will get on the porches and say that, give it time. This is not that grass, this is new grass, give it time to grow.
Yes.
so
Shut up.
are we still watering the grass enough times to like,
Yeah, I mean, everything in Celebration is dying. Go to any park in town.
oh, trust me,
all
look at my
dying.
backyard. I know.
Yes, everything is dying where the sprinklers aren't hitting, and the pressure because of the Lake Tahoe water issue is making anything that the sprinklers can't hit die. As you can see where the sprinkler patterns are.
Absolutely.
Big.
That was the problem with the park.
Right.
3%, yeah.
So, I mean, while this is Brian's issue, it isn't necessarily Brian's fault. And I think that's important here, but it's an issue to resolve. Which is why it's his problem.
That's right. Okay, you wanna go to the next area, and that is committee code of conduct. Danny?
well, I'm sorry, Paul, real quick. So give you guys a heads up, Monday, this coming Monday, they will be, spraying pesticides for the insects. I believe somebody wants to get a bid. So that's this Monday.
I thought you told me they were doing it last Monday.
Yeah, he said,
All
right.
but
So he's doing it on the
this Monday,
26th.
yes, ma'am. So, next thing, the fountains, the hydrants, and that hose that was at the large dog park.
We replaced the hose.
You,
What I want.
okay, so I put that, you guys did that, but the fountains are working, the hydrants are working. I tested those this morning, so please let me know if it breaks down again. We'll fix it. Okay, well, that was my update. I'm sorry, so,
Scott would have hose yesterday.
okay, so it was residents who replaced those.
All right, the code of conduct then.
We're gonna table that until.
So, yeah, I'm gonna say it on camera so we can have it. Alright, so, we all received, every committee's getting this, a code of conduct, we did this last year. I emailed everybody who received the email, once we get all the emails taken care of, you will receive a new version of this code of conduct, because if you look in the back, it's 2023. And I want to make sure that there's no other mistakes besides the 2023.
Is it possible, can we say, go on, any others?
That's what I said, can we just cross out the date?
Put your
and
initials
write-
on it.
Well, I just want to, again, I'm worried if that's not the only mistake we have.
Okay.
And I gotta have you guys sign this, and I don't want to do that, so I want to make sure we're good with this.
Okay.
But read it, I'm pretty sure it's all good, I'm gonna read it when I get back again, just to see if I missed something, but it's just a date, as far as I see it was wrong. But please read it, I'm gonna have you guys sign it and date it, and then just bring me the hard copy to next time we meet. But we're just gonna table it because of the mistake that was at the end.
Any comments or questions?
Well,
Okay, I'd like to say one thing before I go to the last final thing. I would like you all to consider this. We know we talked about taking the 2 timeout areas and want to make it a little park where you can go in and meditate, then dog watching stadium. I want you to think how we could put that into an, I don't know, question for the board, or how we can
Agenda.
offer that, make a motion.
Can we just make a motion on?
Yeah, it's going to require a motion, so I'd like you to think about it for the next meeting.
So we'll put an agenda item on for the next meeting to discuss the 2 timeout areas in the dog park and potential uses. It has been floated by the last committee that we put in a little memorial area on the side of the tree, and that we put in a dog washing station on the side that doesn't have the tree. So those are the 2 of the items up for consideration. We can do anything we want.
Yeah, I've heard from several people already that like, that they love the idea of the dog washing station, so I think like that's a no brainer. I also love the idea of the memorial space for like, not only just the dogs that have passed, but like the people who are part of this community, like, Alex's husband, I'm sorry, I don't remember his name, but, because I never met him, but like, her husband passed away last year, and so like, getting to memorialize him and other people in the community who have passed on.
Well, I know we've got like the memorial area down toward Artisan or whatever, but this is very
This is more
specific.
dog
for,
park
like,
specific.
the dog park, well, not just the dog zoo, but the dog park community. 'Cause
Yeah.
While we're part of celebration, we're also a very specific, like, niche of.
Yeah, we're a bunch of weirdos.
I hope it's not me your morning. I hope it's not me get your morning in there.
I mean, the thought did cross my mind.
Hey, finally got rid of that.
Worded perhaps.
I thank you again. I will take a motion to adjourn.
We can't, we're adjourning. We did talk about the next.
Oh, sorry. Next meeting, 6/17 at 5:30, and that's at the soccer fields. Is that correct?
Yeah, I will confirm that spot, so we are, give you guys a heads up, Heritage Hall is going to be used for summer camp, so this is a big chunk of space that we're losing, so, and everybody's meetings are being moved to all the different locations, so I'm gonna try to do this in the.
Can we not just like do it in front of the dog and the dog park?
You-
I don't want to stand out.
Oh, man.
I mean, I don't want to say it out either, but like,
No, but also it has to be recorded.
oh,
Yes.
see,
What
I'm
time do you
thinking,
want
I'm
that to be?
thinking soccer field.
6/17,
We were outside.
5:30.
Oh, there's a conference room at the community center.
Okay,
Yeah, there's a conference room that is set up for video and there.
is that the place, like, the building behind the dog park, if you go further down that road, or?
That
All the way down.
just has all of that.
Okay,
So you know where the food trucks were for the last couple of months? Do you
unfortunately.
know where the soccer fields are?
So,
Yeah, just keep on
Where
board.
the soccer-
Keep going to the last building.
When the road ends, there's a building.
uh-huh,
One side of it is management office and storage. or
Okay.
whatever have you. The other side is a conference room. And
Okay.
that's where we
I
have.
just want to be clear, so there is a building
Oh, yes, sir.
after the dog park, there's a building, that's not the building we're talking about.
No, that's the.
Keep going on.
There's a gate. So there's the soccer fields and there's a building in front of the soccer.
That's
the
right.
thing.
That's it.
Correct.
Now you'll notice like an archway and you see the water fountains to the left of the water fountain.
I'll keep a door open.
Yeah.
And you,
And
and
I'll be there.
Just start opening
Yeah, here,
doors, so it's only like 3 doors.
I think,
That's right.
what's that building called?
Well, we call it the Celebration Complex.
Yeah, I think,
Or you talking about the other building, that's.
Oh, this-
no.
That's
So
the CDD,
what I'm concerned about, what I'm concerned about is any residents that want to attend the meeting. I want to make sure that they understand where it's being held.
I will put the address where we can see it. The issue is if you Google it, it may take you a different spot, like a lot.
Yeah, it takes you on 417 to get to the dog.
So that's the issue. So the only way I can say is you pass
Just
the
a little
meeting,
map on them.
you pass the,
Can
We'll
we
take a
do a
picture.
printout of a map where it's like,
Oh,
you're,
map.
you are here in the dog park and here's the building you need to get to, like,
Well, hell, it's just putting it on one page.
yeah.
That's large enough for
Yeah.
everyone to see it.
But it's, I mean, it's really just like, it's kind of dumb proof, right? Because it's.
Yeah, if you
you've got-
pass-
Oh, it's number. I mean, if you drive it to the road end,
Do we have like an A-frame that we can put
There's
out
a building.
in front of the building?
like for like dog park meeting, just say dog
Yeah.
park meeting.
And like-
I like something like that.
Maybe we
Yeah.
put out like.
Really not that,
We'll
just
just, we'll just put sticky notes on the dog park.
I mean, I'm.
Don't just-
Hey, Brett Frost.
Like, we don't have anyone here today, but if
Yeah, no, I
they come, how would they know where to find us?
this is our own.
I mean, I get that, but I still want to make sure that they have that chance.
If you tell them to drive till the road ends, they're gonna drive into the building.
Yeah.
It's right there. You can't go any further.
Okay.
And Anthony, when we had town hall, when we had it back in the day, I used to have a sign that said dog park meeting, because we had a lot of rooms.
Mhm.
I can do that. I'll put an A-frame, it'll be right where it says, you go here. So I'll have an A-frame that says dog park meeting.
Awesome, thank
So, no problem.
yeah, plus my card, I'm using early, my card will be out there, everybody knows my cards.
you. Yeah, can you put that on the sign sheet, look for Paul's card?
Put it right on there, yeah.
Yeah.
Maggie, the landlord.
Just put a sign on the back of your truck that says dog park.
We'll just put Maggie outside.
Oh, she'll be telling you to come in. Any other questions? I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second,
I can say if I had that.
favor aye. Nice to meet you. Thank you guys.
All right. Good job, everybody.